Hi, welcome to my show. It's all about you. My name's Joanne Schultz, and I'm a leadership coach. And I coach people to lead their lives through transition to the best next life possible for them, both personally and professionally. So tonight, I'll be coaching my guest, Rusty. Hi. Howdy.
I'm excited about this.
I know, it's this great shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So our theme tonight is 2010 is my year.
It is.
Yes.
I want it to be my year.
Yeah.
I believe it's my year, and I hope it's my year. Now, it's up to you to work
To
with
make it
me.
your year,
yeah. Get me a little closer to it. Especially, being so close to the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
That it's a good time to get a jump on it.
Well, and I just want to qualify something there.
Sure.
I want to get myself off the hook.
Yeah.
So one of the things as a coach that I do,
Yeah.
my belief is that you have the answers.
Okay.
And so my job
Yeah.
is to help you surface those.
Okay. Well, I know you did a good job at that as we were preparing for the show and just talking in general, getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And you totally inspired me.
Cool.
And yes, you brought the answers out from me.
Yeah.
So I understand that approach. That's good.
So let's talk about 2010.
Yeah.
So
let's do it.
what's the dream? What's the vision? What do you want to happen?
Well, speaking of 10, when I was 10 years old and the Beatles came to America, I decided that's what I want to do. I want to play music. I want to be in a band with friends, and I want to get some hit records. So I did play music. I've been a professional drummer most of my life, and then played in bands with my friends. It was fun. We did a lot of gigs, broke up, did it again, broke up, became a professional drummer, then eventually started writing music. So now I'm at that point in my life where I've had a long and enjoyable music career, but I still want to reach that goal I had when I was 10 years old of getting a couple hit records.
Oh.
I've written them. Now it's just a matter of getting to where that market is and figuring out how to do that, what my fears are,
Yeah. And that market we talked about is in Nashville.
It is because it's country music, and to do country music, you have to go there.
Yeah.
If you get demos made in LA or somewhere else, they'll know it, and you're not part of the culture if you do that.
Don't they do? Isn't Memphis also big, or is it Nashville?
Memphis is
mostly?
good. It was blues before a lot. Of course, rock and roll with Elvis and all that. But yeah, definitely Nashville. Not just for country music, but a lot of music's recorded there. A lot of types of music.
Right.
It's really the business hub right now.
For country music.
Yeah, I'm sure LA still is a scene for a lot of recording and type commercial work, things like that.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I definitely want to be for what I'm doing Nashville.
So what is it like? What'll it look like when it's done? What is the picture that you're painting for yourself?
The pictures, I get a couple #1 hit records and ride off into the sunset. Yeah.
On your horse with your cowboy hat on?
Absolutely. My
Great
father, who
shirt.
just passed away 2 years ago, he was a horseman, and he broke wild horses. That was his first job he ever had in the Army.
Wow.
And I was the last person to see him when he died, and the last thing he said was, "Go get my horse, I want to go home."
Oh.
Yeah, so it's in my culture, that.
Yeah.
And I've achieved what I wanted to do musically. I've played the drums over 65 professional styles, and I loved it. But right now, as of today, I have a few bucks where I can get down there, see what it's all about, get some demos made. But if I don't get any hit records, I don't have any other income. By choice. It's not because I can't get a job. It's not I don't want to just fill in time to the day I die.
Right.
I want to continue this dream, and I can do that right now because I'm still healthy. I happen to be single, so I don't have an immediate family that I have to take care of. And it's a good time for me. That's why I think this is the year.
So what does it take to, get your fame happening for country songs in Nashville?
Well, for one thing, you have to have quality. I mean, they're going to recognize quality. You may have quality, and it might not be the right time for that type of music. I don't know. I'm not worried about that. My songs that I debuted them in songwriting contests, and they did really well. West Coast Songwriting Association, you have to write it, you have to perform it, and that's the only criteria, and you can do that any way you want as long as you wrote it and you're performing it. And I won 5 counties in a row. So I know the songs are good. And I know they're good because I've been around my music my whole life. I wrote them, took me a lot of years, polished them up, and I'm content with that.
Does it help being a contest winner when you try to get into recording something?
Well, no, not to business people or people who've had hit records. They couldn't care less. But how it helps is it motivates me. I know they were chosen by judges. I know they were chosen by the people. You know, I've won both of those types of contests.
So it validates that it's
does
music that people
exactly.
will turn the radio on to listen.
Yeah. Something
buy
that
a
happens a
CD.
lot is people, they want to be a singer. They want to be a writer. They think they are a singer. They think they're a writer. They're not. They're not at a professional quality. Okay, I get to say, yes, I am, because I've been a professional musician my whole life. I know when people like what I'm doing as an entertainer. And I've won these contests. So it is just a stepping stone. It's an amateur stepping stone, but it's a solid one.
Right.
And I didn't just win once. You know, I won all of them.
So this is what you want to do in 2010. You want to get these records.
Yeah.
Somebody to buy one of your songs.
Yes.
Or all 20 of them.
Yes. Would you like to? No, I'm kidding you. One is a start. You know, one is, I mean, that's a start.
So how do you go about doing that? I mean, you don't live in Nashville, so what do you think you need to do?
Aren't you going to tell me?
Yeah.
No,
you start.
Well, I believe you have to be down there. There was a saying, like, if you were going to propose to your future wife, would you phone it in? Would you mail it to her? No, you'd go there and be there with her. So I believe that's true. Now, it's a matter, we were talking earlier, and you had a very good suggestion or idea, is that it's not all or nothing. That's, I think, what's been holding me back. I think I have to do it, and if it doesn't work, I'm a loser, or, you know, if life went wrong.
Right.
You reminded me, I don't have to look at it that way.
No.
That's a refreshing start. Makes it lighter. I can now think, that's right, I could go down there just to visit for a couple weeks. I could go down there and get one song recorded and get to hear my song recorded in Nashville.
Yeah.
And have that in my back pocket.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, maybe
You have
that's
fun with it.
Yeah, that's the in-between first steps instead of all or nothing. Sell everything, go down there.
Right.
Take my truck.
Right.
Take my drums, I don't know. So,
Yeah, and well, of course, take your drums, because you never know where that will lead.
sure.
Plus, you love to play, right?
I do love.
Yeah.
They're right in the next room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something that you'll do.
Yeah.
So that really is good, that all or none piece, because you've talked so much about winning contests.
Yes.
And the opposite of winning is losing, right?
That's
Somebody
right.
wins and then somebody has to lose. But before, you were saying that every time that you started off on a new endeavor, you were always trying to support a family or
Right.
support a career development or
Yeah.
bring an income in. And now,
Right. And those were non-musical goals for their own reasons. And whether I was happy and healthy or not happy and miserable, whatever I did and I happened to be lucky enough to do well at, I have looked at it in life, not just win or lose, but to do your best and shoot for the top. I don't think there's any reason not to.
right.
You know, and as far as winning a contest and someone having to lose, well, that means getting a hit record or not getting a hit record. Is you're either winning or you're losing. I mean, unfortunately, that is the business.
So is there a spectrum in there? Is it that they buy your record or they don't? Or do you have...
No, there are many, many other.
Yeah, there's got to be others.
That's the bullseye. The bullseye is I go down, someone wants my song, they pick it up, they put it on their album, it goes #1. Yes!
Yeah.
That's the
We'll hold
bullseye.
that vision.
Okay, there's a whole dartboard there. There's the 20 points on down to the 1 point. You're still on that dartboard.
Yeah.
If I get on that dartboard, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
You know, and realistically, financially speaking, if you're on a CD and your song is maybe the 10th track on there, you get the same division, 1/10 of every CD that's sold. Even if it's never played, it doesn't have to be a hit. If you're on that record.
Wow. I
Yeah, a
didn't
lot of people
realize
don't know
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You, as long as you make it on that cut. So, yeah, there are a lot of other steps in between.
Have you ever thought about producing just your own CD?
No, not at all. I'm not a technical person.
Well, I mean, going and having it done,
well,
you know. Like people
Yeah,
do all the time, right?
They do.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that and say I'm not a technical person. I'm not a person good at telling other people what to do. I was very good at doing what other people liked and, you know, being a drummer. I'm playing the music they want. I'm making them sound good. I was being #1 at the number 2 position.
Backup.
Like in baseball, you'd be the catcher. You're in on every play, and you're making that pitcher, win the game.
Yeah.
So I was in that position. Here at the TV station and everything, being community access, and I've done a lot of volunteer work here. Well, I volunteered on people's shows for the first several years I was here, enjoyably. And that's how I became successful here. Only this year did I decide I want to produce my own show. So yes, I have that potential, and I'm learning that. I don't think that's my next step.
Are you interested in that? I mean, to be the one-man show, or
I'm not sure.
or to perform yourself, or you'd rather have somebody else perform?
No,
the
I want to
music?
perform myself, at least. I always have. Now I don't have any illusions of going down and becoming a famous country act or star. I've turned that corner. That's not for me, or it's not an option.
So you want people to recognize your songwriting?
Yes. Yeah.
Got it.
And country music traditionally has bought more songs than any other venue. Hip hop, they write their own songs. Rock and roll, they always wrote their own songs. In country, that's not necessarily true. Some artists do, but a lot of artists, those songs are purchased for them.
Well, they definitely don't in vocals. I mean, if you look at God, look at like Michael Bublé, and people are they're singing the old standards.
That's right.
So.
Another thing people don't realize is in country music, traditionally, the number 1 record slot changes more often than any other avenue of music. Like pop music, Michael Jackson would get a hit up there, and it would stay for 3 months.
Right.
In country music, it averaged 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there are more opportunities to make it up there.
So 2010 is about you, and it's about actualizing this dream.
Yes, it is.
Is that all it's about? Is it really, this is it? This is the piece de resistance kind of thing?
Here's that pressure again. Realistically, I could say no. I could say yes and no, and I can explain both of those. I can say yes because I'm happy right now. I'm healthy. I got a couple bucks, and I can do what I want. I'm very Spartan in my living conditions and everything. So yes, this is the year, and I can do it this year because of those reasons.
Right.
Do I have to do it? No. If I never do it, I will still be happy. I'll be happy with my accomplishments, with my life, and I can ride off into that sunset.
So is 2010 represent a transition of another sort for you then? Is this just a piece of it?
It represents a transition, yes, because I do believe in that 7-year cycle. And I'm 56 this year. That's that 7th
Your 9th
year.
cycle.
Yeah.
No, wait, 9 times 7 is 63.
Oh,
You're 8th.
okay.
8th.
But, when you go back through life, and a lot of people believe it, and I could say exactly in my life, this happened. 7 years old, you're a child. 14, you're a teenager. 21, you're an adult. 28 that's the hard one to turn safely if you have a wild lifestyle. And, the worst year of my life, without a doubt. Made it through. 35 years old, I meet the love of my life, never been married, never wanted to get married happily, and we were very happy. 7 years later, at 42, we split up. I start going down for a couple years. Some real trouble. 49, turning 50, that's that 7th year, and all of a sudden I won all the contests for writing my music. I'm healthy, I'm happy again, and I'm ready to go for Nashville, and I get robbed of everything I own. All my music, all my clothes, all my, jewelry, all my money, and it's gone. So now at, 49, 50, I got to start over again, which I really wasn't ready to do. I thought I've earned a ride right now to cruise, and but it took me a few years really to get back going again, to believe again, to have this smile on my face, not to hate the world and life and give up.
Yeah.
But I'm back again. Okay?
Oh, yeah. You definitely don't have that going on at all.
It's the other me, that dark artist,
Yeah.
Okay, so now from 49, 50, now I'm 56, 57 this coming year here.
Right.
So this is it.
That's the why now.
Exactly right. Because in another 7 years, okay, maybe I can. Who knows how I'll be feeling? But at 63, do I want to go and still pursue this? I wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Right.
So yeah, I'm feeling youthful. I'm still feeling talented. I still feel like I have what it takes.
Yeah.
And there's one way to find out. So
this is exciting. It is really great. So any obstacles between you and there?
the fear of the unknown.
Now that you said that to me earlier, and I've been scratching my head over that. I'm glad you brought it up again because you have done so many things that have been unknown. Yes. And you've jumped into them and obviously made it through. So
well, I have, but it doesn't. If you dodged a bullet successfully, it doesn't mean you want to be shot at again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I have been very lucky and successful in my life, and what I've chosen to do, I've accomplished it. It doesn't mean, once you throw those dice again, you don't know what's going to come up. Or once you're dealt cards, you want to play, gamble a hand, you don't know what's going to happen. And I think, too, your resilience as you get older, your resilience falters a little more. I always flew high, so I didn't see the ground. I wasn't afraid of it. Yeah. And, I flew far. Well, right now, it's a little hard to fly that high and keep those wings going. And, yeah, I can stay up here, and I'm not afraid. That's the truth.
Right. So what are you afraid of?
Just in general, the fear of the unknown. Like, okay, you go down there, you don't know anybody. Right. You don't know the streets. You don't know the bad neighborhoods. You don't know the crooks. You don't know if you're going to have a health problem in 3 months. Right. You don't know, should you go in that door or this door? You know how you can drive yourself crazy if you think, should I have turned left there? Or what if I would have turned right in life? Or, at this point? Or, or you just say you meet a new person. You'd like to have a relationship. And however you meet them, at the grocery store or at Match.com or however you meet them, and you think, do I want to ask this person out? And then you go out with them and you take that chance with a whole new relationship. Well, that's what I would be doing with music, which is, precious to me and sacred to me. Right. And it's been my life. It's been my personality. So I'm going to take that fragility and expose it to $1 billion business. That's what it is. So.
Yeah, well, when you kind of ended the sentence on that note, maybe.
Well, I got to exactly what I'm afraid of, and that was the question, wasn't it? I got there.
Well, but you said yourself, though, that the dartboard has a lot of space in it.
It really does, and you've been reminding me of that, and I appreciate it.
The gray area.
Yeah. My frame of mind, why perhaps I've accomplished these things or not been afraid to fail, I don't look at it that way in my life, or I haven't looked at it that way, is because I look at it black and white. And I can say, I've been a winner. I've done some stupid things and lost everything, but when I set out to do something, I've accomplished them. So, it's been good for me to look at 100% and get there, but I don't have to look at it that way. That's what you've reminded me of, that, I can just go down there and enjoy it. I can go down there and meet some people. I can go down there and play some music.
See, and maybe that's a resilient strategy for you. Yeah. Is how can you get yourself back into the space of going, oh, well, I'm light again. I can have a good time with this.
That's what I need to do, huh?
And how do you do that?
I don't know. This is where I need you to tell me, too.
So do you ever, can you tell when you're stuck and it kind of gets heavy and darker, or the rabbit hole shows up or whatever? You get like, oh, it won't happen. It's $1 billion business. You start freaking yourself out.
I don't tend to freak out like that.
Well, that's good.
Once I set my mind to it and I'm going to do it, I'm kind of fearless. Yeah. And when the problems happen, they're huge. There's drug addiction. Wow, I shouldn't be on this side of that line. Or there's divorce. Or there's, accidentally ran over myself with a motorhome. Oh, well, I shouldn't have done that. So and just like listing those, a lot of those problems I created myself.
I'm laughing at that because of the way you told the story.
Laughter doesn't mean the mind is at ease.
I know. That's right.
That's right. And as I look at it, well, those were things I caused a lot of that myself. So, the fault lies within me, too. So maybe I am older and wiser, and I'll know not to make my own mistakes.
And you made it out of those as well.
I did.
Yeah.
I really did.
See, so that's a resilient piece.
Yes.
So, we talked briefly about this. What about rejection in the music business? Yeah. Got to be kind of common?
Oh, absolutely.
The entertainment industry must be really tough to break into, I would think, right?
Well, and it is tough, and I've heard that, my entire life. It is tough. For me, what would be tough is being a mathematician. or I want to be a juggler in the circus. If I was going to go do that, like wherever the circus is housed at, I want to go to Houston and be in Ringling Brothers Circus and be a juggler. Okay, it's, the odds are way against me, and, it is a tough life and career.
Right.
But I'm not doing that. I'm doing music, which I do know it, and I haven't experienced a lot of failure in it. A lot of people do. It wasn't me.
So what I'm just doing with you now
Yeah.
is a technique you could use.
Okay.
Because I just kept throwing at you, what if?
Okay.
And you
How'd I do?
And you keep coming back with, but no, that's not a problem for me.
Oh, good for me.
It would, being a mathematician would be scary. This
Yeah.
isn't as scary. So I think there is a kind of a mental dialogue, you can have about.
You're tricky because I didn't know what was happening, and I answered 100% honest.
You did.
That once I was questioned about it, these are how I think. I mean, these are the answers that I think of. Okay.
And you're kind of methodical too, so it seems like that's another strategy for you. So you could say, well, if I'm feeling that way, what stone didn't I uncover?
Yes.
Maybe I got to go to
Right.
Nashville and hang out and meet some people and find
Sure.
out where the bad neighborhoods are. And
Yes. Okay.
so because once you say you're flying high, you don't look
Yeah.
at the ground. You're
Yeah.
obviously going in the direction that you want to be going, right? So you're
Right.
probably doing this, then you do that, then you do that.
Right.
Right? So
Yes.
you keep that momentum.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Once I decide on something and I give it 100%, again, I've been lucky in life, but I looked at it 100%. Like, once I decide, at one point when I got married, I had never owned a saw, and I wanted to, have a nice, honest, hardworking business of my own, buy a house. And I went up to the park and just sat at a picnic table to decide what to do. And I thought, well, I like picnic tables, and I like wood. Never owned a saw, and I just went and bought a saw and started cutting it and made picnic tables and was very successful. But also, I figured out how to make that table spectacular and how to be completely honest in that approach to it, as far as delivering on time and, all these good things. So, I think that's the way to do things, no matter what it is.
So how does that then apply to you getting your song bought in Nashville? What's the 100% in that?
The 100%, one thing would be to go in fearless, to go in there remembering what I've done musically. And, I'm not going to list everything, but I've done a lot. And I've played over 65 professional styles. I've played at the Cow Palace, the Grand National Rodeo in San Francisco.
Excellent.
I played at the War Memorial Opera House. I played, a lot of good things. So I think I need to go in there. One thing I never tolerated was if someone gets up on that stage being embarrassed or shy or less than a star entertainer, because you don't get up there unless you are worthwhile and you're going to give people their money's worth.
Well, American Idol kind of kicked that around, didn't it, though?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's no reason I should be if I decide I'm going to go to Nashville and do this and pursue it and try to achieve it,
Right.
then that's how I'm going to approach it.
So where are you now in the I'm going to go do this at 100% level?
I know exactly
not?
where I am because I've been thinking about it since we've been talking. It's not just the fear of the unknown, it's leaving a comfort level for an unknown future comfort level.
Right.
Well,
but that's if it's a permanent move and it's black and white, right?
Well, yes and no. Once you, I do a lot of volunteer work here at this station. I've been volunteer of the year, several times. I'm like king of the ride right now, and it's giving to the community. It's all men are created equal. Anyone can have a show. It's freedom of religion, and it's children are involved. I give the tours to children. That's a comfort level. Once I leave that, I don't know if I'll ever have as enjoyable of a comfort level in my life. Yes, I may have financial rewards. That's not necessarily a comfort level.
Right. Right.
So it is trading this constant enjoyment and security for this unknown, Plus, too, I guess, as lucky as I've been in achieving my goals, very lucky, that also I have been run over, I have been robbed, so am I stepping into that?
So do you think, I always equate it to like when you think about I always tell my parents when I used to travel a lot that it's
Yeah.
much harder to sit in your living room and think about traveling than it is to actually be traveling.
Right, that's a great point.
So I wonder if when
Yeah.
you got on the road and going,
You bet.
So
Man, that makes sense. You know, I can
you get that whole road sense, right? You get that whole.
I can exemplify that 100%, and that's a great reminder, and I appreciate it. Because just this year, as you know, I have my old truck. It's a '66 Ford truck, hillbilly, and as winter was coming in, I thought, I just want to travel a little bit before it's cold of winter comes in and I'm kind of tucked in for winter. So I thought, I'm going to just take a road trip. I don't even care where I go. And then I thought, well, what if it breaks down? Well, what if who cares? What's the worst could happen? I'm at the side of the road, you know, calling for a tow truck.
Right.
So I pointed it north and drove up to the Columbia River Gorge and just camped out and hiked to waterfalls. I was going to stay a week. I stayed a month. Then I drove back down, stopped here for a day or two, and decided I want to keep going, and drove south and went down through Disneyland and on across to the Grand Canyon, and then up through Nevada to Reno, where we had an award show for community television, and came back. And I was gone 2 months. And I said to myself, why didn't I do this? You know,
Right.
It was not expensive, and what did I fear? And you're exactly
So the only piece there is the leap.
yes.
There's something
Yes.
about, and I think you can
right.
take some inventory of that. I think that's a really legitimate concern because you
Right.
have a lot of things that you love here
Yes.
that you don't want to leave.
That's right.
And it's not really about fear of unknown. That's something different. That's like,
Yeah.
these are my comforts, these are my joys. So we need to summarize. We're getting out of time here. This has been
We are?
very,
Okay.
very interesting.
Well, I will summarize one thing by saying that's
Yeah.
a very helpful point that, yes, it's easier to travel than to sit and think about traveling. I will remember that.
Totally,
Yeah,
totally.
and
So
you-
what do you think are your next pieces then? What else is up for you to think about, to crystallize this, to decide to go, to stay, or whatever you're going to do?
I think just researching a few facts about what's a good weather time of year that's, you know, tolerable. You know, I don't want to be down there if it's snowing and ice on the roads, things like
Right.
that. And then music trends. Find out what is popular and kind of target with my songs how to approach it with that.
Yeah,
Those are a
very
couple good
cool.
steps.
Music trends.
Yeah.
Well, I think that you have a lot to think about, and
Yeah.
I think that you're going to do great. I can't wait to
Well,
hear sort of
thanks.
when you go and what you decide to do. Or
Well, thanks. You'll certainly be part of that success now.
yeah,
I
thanks for
appreciate
sharing
it.
this with me.
Sure.
I really appreciate it.
Sure.
All right. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and Rusty in It's All About You, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.